Hello everyone, it's Mike here from The Art of Guitar. I'm always looking for an excuse to wear this jacket in my videos, and I think last time I did it was for a Prince Purple Rain solo lesson, I believe. But I thought since I'm doing a video on the top 12 Michael Jackson guitar moments, I have to wear this thing, because I think it's way more of a Michael Jackson jacket than a Prince jacket. It's really hard to explain to younger people how huge Michael Jackson was at one time. I mean, back in the day, we had a VCR, we didn't have the internet, so what we would do is we tried to watch anything that had Michael Jackson on it. But we only had 2 bits of footage. One was the Billie Jean performance he did where he busted out the moonwalk and the world went crazy. And then the other thing was just a 30-second Pepsi commercial. The one where he actually got injured, his hair started on fire. That's not in the actual ad, but behind the scenes that happened. And so we used to watch that ad over and over and over again. That's all we had to really do back then. And we didn't only love his music, we wanted to be Michael Jackson. So I went out and actually got this white glove with glitter on it, and I would go around the skating rink and the light would shine on it and I felt really cool. But it was only one glove because that's what Michael Jackson did. And my poor cousin wanted one too, but he couldn't afford it. So he bought a regular white glove and then had my grandma sew these sequins on them. But she used like steel wire or something, and so when he put his hand in, it basically scratched all the way down his hand. It was like a bloody mess when he took it off. It was really morbid. But we were willing to put up with some pain just because we were such huge fans. It really hit me how much of an influence Michael Jackson's music was on my choosing a career in music as well as playing guitar and drums, I should say, because a lot of his music is very, drum and beat oriented. But I thought about it when it comes to the guitar, one of the first things I ever heard from Michael Jackson was the Beat It solo, and that influenced a lot of people. But I didn't want to forget about the other songs that also had guitar in it that really impressed me and excited me back in the day. So I thought today I would talk about the 12 greatest Michael Jackson guitar moments and just play some for you. I can't really play any of the real music because whoever owns his music right now is super strict on copyright. So I'll play little segments on my guitar and maybe a little bit from his actual videos, but not too much today. Okay, so number 12 is a song called DS. And, some of these you're not really going to know. Other ones are going to be super obvious. This is probably one of the lesser known songs. It was originally called TS. And if you listen to it, it's got this drive-in groove. It sounds like a guitar playing in the beginning, but that's actually a keyboard, I believe. The guitar comes in when the solo hits, and guess who it is? It's Slash, who worked with Michael Jackson a ton, along with several other great guitar players who I'll probably mention throughout this video. I love the solo in this song because it's total Slash. He definitely has his Slashisms in full effect here. Number 11 is a song called Privacy. And there's something kind of funny about the first 2 choices here. Before both of the solos, Michael Jackson yells out, Slash! Slash! And on the first song, DS, it actually is Slash playing, like I said. But in this song, called Privacy, it's not Slash. I guess what happened is Michael Jackson recorded his vocals before the solo was laid down, so they just kept the Slash part in there and then had another guitar player, I believe it was Michael Thompson, play the solo. What I love about this solo is that it's very Steve Vai. There's a wah pedal and it sounds kind of like a talking guitar a little bit. So if I engage the wah pedal every time I hit a note, you get this like... kind of like the audience is listening from Steve Vai. And then there's some sweet licks. He does this great slide with the wah that makes it kind of sound like a whammy pedal. After all that chaos, he does this great chromatic descending unison bend that reminds me a lot of Zeppelin. And obviously check out the real solo after you're done watching this video. I know you're going to appreciate a lot of these examples in real life. Number 10 is Thriller. I have to change guitars for the funky stuff here. I've always loved funk strumming on the guitar. It always felt natural to me because I love playing drums and it feels like you're kind of hitting the hi-hat with your hand when you play like funk strums. And everything about the Thriller guitar part is funky. There's a lot of single note lines and there's a lot of upstrokes you really got to attack. So this is my favorite part. There's 2 parts and I'm going to put them together in post-production. But the first part goes like this. The other part kind of counters it, but it also fits together in a really cool way. If you put them together, you get this. It's really missing that bump bump part from that synthesizer, but I don't have one, so I'm not going to add it. I wish I had that one. Number 9 is Wanna Be Startin' Something. There's this really killer guitar part, and it's a lot more difficult than I thought it was. So I broke it down to this. I'll play it slow first of all. Isn't that insane? And it's still not full speed. And I was watching Michael Jackson play it back in like 97, and it was really, really fast. Like they were really grooving. I really felt bad. I think it was Jennifer Batten had to play it twice as fast. So let's try a little faster here. As I was learning these this week, I really found that a lot of things are way more difficult than I pictured in my head. Like some of these lines are just real groovy, and I thought, oh, it must be like, 3 or 4 notes. But in Smooth Criminal, it's a pretty insane line that you have to play, and I really have to get in the groove of it before it feels right. Now, I think we all love the Alien Ant Farm riff version, the whole... Such a cool way to play that on the guitar. But in Michael Jackson's version, it's more like synth bass doing that, so we don't get to have the fun for that. But there is a really cool guitar part in it. It goes like this. It's weird because if you do it the opposite way and you do downstrokes instead, it just doesn't feel right while you're playing it. The accents really feel right when you do upstrokes. So down it would be... It's too flat, but if you get these upstrokes in there, it really spikes out a little bit. We have a few more to do with this guitar, so number 7's actually one of his biggest songs of all time. It was the first big hit I think I heard from him, which is Billie Jean. And so there's a lot of this, which kind of has that disco sound, which harkens to the earlier Michael Jackson, even before Thriller, like off the wall type stuff. But I always thought this was a cool riff. I think I'm playing it close to right, but there's some details that I'm still trying to figure out. All right, back to the other guitar for a little bit. There's this wild intro in the beginning of Why You Wanna Trip on Me, and I believe it's Slash playing this part. It just sounds very slashy. And there's a wah pedal in chorus, but it's a really sweet 6 type riff. By that I just mean 6 notes in sequence like that. And he does something like this. I need some sweet feedback here. Not getting any. Number 5 is a song that I started off not liking. I think it's because the main riff is so happy sounding, and when I heard it for the first time, I was not really happy at the time, so it kind of rubbed me the wrong way. But this riff right here. There's debate on how to play that. The tab online says to go. But I hear a bass note going. Might be a bass, but I think it's in the guitar. But then if you wait for a while, there's a bridge part that kicks in that just totally kicks major ass. It gets really heavy and the guitar goes like this. Okay, then this crazy Prince-like funk thing happens, so let me switch guitars. There's a tune called Give In To Me that has some really great guitar work in it. Right off the bat, it almost sounds like an 80s hair metal type thing. It goes like this. Such a great riff. I think it's played like that, and I think Tim Pierce may have played this part, so I might have to ask him. But in the tab it says to slide, but I don't really hear a slide in the recording. I think it's more like a... Either way, it has kind of like that Dokken type sound, doesn't it? Then there's this really incredible solo. I think it's by Slash. It's very slashy. So let me switch guitars again. Actually, before I do the solo part, there's this real powerful chorus that goes like this. Anyhow, the Slash solo part that I really liked goes like this. Then he just starts doing these really cool like legato licks. I think it starts pulling off to the open string. It's pretty wild, actually. Then he does something like this. So make sure you check out that solo because it is insane. Number 3 is the infamous song, They Don't Really Care About Us. And during the song, there's this wicked lick. It's a descending lick in 4s, I believe. And what's weird is I think it's actually sped up. And it might actually be sampled and played on a synth. I'm not really sure. But here's what the lick is slow. I've tried all day to try to speed this up, but it's really, really tricky. So here's the best I can do today. See, I can't quite get that arpeggio clean. Maybe I'll just mute it. But that's not even the coolest part of the tune. Just like a lot of his songs, it starts off, it builds up, and all of a sudden, bam, right where the bridge is, there's just this kick-ass moment. And in this song, this is one of my favorite Michael Jackson riffs, actually. I just realized it kind of sounds a little bit like Unsolved Mysteries. Kind of, that same rhythm at least. So yeah, when it kicks in and all of a sudden everything's just super intense. Okay, we made it to number 2, and this song is called Dirty Diana. I think a lot of real hardcore Michael Jackson fans are just like, duh, this is one of the coolest guitar songs. It features Steve Stevens, and that's why. During the verse, it's real subdued, but the guitars are doing this real tasteful part that fits the music perfectly. It's a great thing for guitar players to be able to write parts and not just follow chord changes, and that's one of those examples where this is actually a part. But it's not until the chorus hits that the guitars really open up and go like this. And of course, when it comes to the actual guitar solo part, there are a couple things that stood out to me. First of all, whenever you're playing a Michael Jackson song, it's hard not to do the beat it rhythm. What I mean is this. It's almost like you could do that to any Michael Jackson song and it works. And of course, Steve plays a lot with the trem bar, so he goes crazy. He does some licks like... And this one I haven't been able to figure out, but it's something like... And of course, you could probably guess number 1 is Beat It. When it comes to influencing guitar players, I would have to say this has got to be number 1 for a lot of people, if not most people. So we start with a riff. Once again, I'm trying not to get copyrighted here, but... As soon as you hear those notes, for a lot of people, it just brings you right back to a very nostalgic place where it's just like, man, what is this crazy stuff? Even rock guys were getting into Michael Jackson at the time. And you have this, of course. One of my favorite parts of the song is actually a pretty simple thing. You just play an open E string to the beat like this. By the way, this is supposed to be a half step down, but I'm in standard. So we have Steve Lukather doing these rhythm parts, and he's just nailing the feel for the song. To kind of lay the bed, the foundation for Eddie to come in and just shred his solo through. I've done videos in the past about the Beat It solo. I even did one on the Eat It solo, so check that out too. But I'll just play the end because it's got this cool tap. And there's one detail that I think is easy to miss in this tap. The very first tap that you do is going to go 15th fret on the 2nd string to the 8th fret to the 13th fret. It's kind of interesting how that makes a big difference. Then from there, we're going to go to the 12th fret with the pinky afterwards. So. Okay, everyone, so that's my list for the top 12 Michael Jackson guitar moments. If you could think of any that I forgot about, let me know in the comments section. And thank you so much for watching. It was a lot of fun going down memory lane once again to revisit a really great time in my childhood. Okay, so thanks again for watching, and we will catch you soon at the next video. See ya. Bye.